USC Trojans football, presented by Pechanga Resort and Casino, kicks off in 2 hours. But the tailgating, that starts now. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti.
Throw to Mario Williams. Jitterbugs at the 15. Gets away at the 10. Down to the 5. Into the end zone. Celebrate with the song, girls, kid. Touchdown, USC!
Brought to you by Yeti. We make the gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder. By SmartStop Self-Storage, the smarter way to store. Visit smartstop.com to reserve your space today. By Dos Equis, a proud partner of USC Athletics. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. And by Pechanga Resort and Casino, proud partner of USC football. And now, here are your Trojan Tailgate Show hosts, Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Cody Kessler.
Hello and welcome to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. We are live. Another primetime showdown in the Pac-12 inside the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. I am Jordan Moore. That's Sean Cody. That's Sua Cravens. And that's Cody Kessler. And this is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. Happy to have you with us as we get you set for USC and Arizona State. As you can see behind us, the Trojans have arrived. They had about 500 kids out on the field to greet them and greet them like conquering heroes return, guys. They had a heck of a game last week. It was a nail biter for 60 minutes, and it just kind of felt like one of those coin flip games that great seasons hinge on, and it landed on the Trojans. Yeah, really a definition win, I thought, by the Trojans. Went out there up to Corvallis, a tough place to play for the Trojans. That's always been, and struggled a bit. You know, they struggled a bit offensively. We found out about a team. We found out about a defense. I thought that really early on in the year wasn't producing, and then that game kind of came to life. So definitely an interesting win. I think it could be a really season-defining win, a tough environment to get it done in, and Trojans found a way to do it.
Well, Sean, you said it. We had the question that we've been asking ourselves for the first few weeks of the season. What happens if Caleb Williams and his offense cannot produce? And we got the answer we were looking for. The defense came up with another huge week of turnovers. They were opportunistic, as we can now, I think, expect to see from them. And they took advantage of the opportunity that was given to them. And not only that, they held strong when we needed them most. And when the offense could not create momentum, the defense did it for them. I'd like to say I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and like we saw early on, Caleb struggled a little bit with his accuracy. You saw him struggling to get his feet set and really get in the rhythm. But what I loved is the way he didn't get down on himself, and you saw him really, those last two drives, he really came through for the guys and made some big-time plays, both on the ground and through the air. Well, Cody, what did you see? Because 16 of 36 for 180 yards just didn't seem possible after what we saw the first 3 weeks. Yeah, it was interesting because, you know, you're so used to seeing them starting fast and getting in a rhythm, and it looked like they were struggling, for whatever the reason may be, to really find themselves in that game. I don't know if it was the crowd noise or you know, different communication things, but it takes a while, and it's tough as a quarterback. If you're not, you know, starting fast early on, it's tough to find that rhythm, but one way or another, he got to it and really got the job done there at the end. Well, it came down to one drive where you have to have it, and that's where seasons are defined, quarterbacks are defined, and in this case, Sean, centers are defined because the biggest play of the game was made by one of the bigger guys in Brett Nealon, and you just love to see it. It's one of those great stories. We have the Bush push, and now I guess we have the Nealon nudge. When you watch it on TV and the guys didn't realize it, Caleb was well short, maybe a yard and a half short of the first down marker. He ended up getting it by about a yard and a half because Brett Nealon and friends launched him about 3 yards down the field. Great hustle play. Yeah, but just a really career-defining play by Brett. Somebody who's really battled his whole career here for the Trojans, was able to get down there and make it happen with Jonah Monheim and Andrew Voorhees, who I'm sure like, what the heck, I didn't get a nickname on this play. But anyway, they got down there. And then you see Jordan Addison finishing off the drive and just a jewel of a throw from Caleb on that one. We mentioned, you know, the struggles that Caleb went through, but when the team needed him most, and those two last drive, when they needed points, he was able to come through and put some points on the board for them.
I think that play, well, we will look back at it if we're looking at USC in the Pac-12 championship and hopefully the playoff. We'll look back at that play, the Nealon nudge that got us there, and those are plays that define your season, and that could have made or break USC. If we end up short on that fourth down, Oregon State takes over the ball and needs the clock out, we're looking at this team completely different. But instead, we're looking at an undefeated team going into another week where they have a chance to compete for a Pac-12 championship, and playoff hopes are still alive. That was a huge play.
Cody, what's the relationship between a quarterback and his center? Yeah, I mean, you do everything together. I was fortunate enough to live with Max Turk, who, you know, rest in peace, is one of my close friends.
still to this day love him. But, you really want to have that connection because that's the guy you spend the most time with, right? They talk about quarterbacks, getting to know your receivers, getting to know your running backs, which you do want to. But the 5 guys that you depend on every game are those offensive linemen up front.
Well, he ends up dropping the dime to Jordan Addison, but it wasn't the Caleb and Addison show throughout. Offensively, boy, we've got a new favorite player in Travis Dye, Sean. I know that you were up close in Oregon State. You had a rare seat. Usually they stick you guys way up top, but because of the renovation, you were up close. You could see that Travis Dye physically wasn't right, that he was in some kind of pain. We don't entirely know what. It looked like some sort of shoulder issue, but man, he battled through it. I put up the caption "Die Hard" for him. Some John McClane, vibes from Travis Dye.
DYE hard. There you go. I like that. Travis Dye was definitely a war daddy in that game. You could feel the hits he were taking, and you don't really get to experience. Jordan, you're on the sidelines, so you get to see the hits these guys take. Travis Dye was taking a whooping, man. He just kept getting back up and getting the ball and doing some more damage. So I really found a new appreciation for the running back position, being close to the field there and seeing Travis Dye taking those shots, getting back up, offensive lineman pulling him off the pile, getting back in the huddle and doing it again. So really a war daddy effort from old Travis.
Well, he
Dye.
learned that toughness from the Inland Empire.
Okay.
Something that we should consider, but this man is a spark plug for this offense. When Caleb can't get it going, when Jordan Addison's receiving the double, when Mario Williams is getting locked up on the inside, this is the guy that we turn to get this offense churning. And I think just like the relationship Caleb has with his O-line, Travis should be having the same with this O-line because they've been blocking the heck for him all season long.
Cody, I thought it was interesting, too, when games get tough and the possessions get limited, all of a sudden we're not playing everybody. Travis Dye has 19 carries. Austin Jones has 5. Raleek Brown has 3. When it mattered, they turned to the vet.
And that's what I love from Travis Dye. And he's really starting to get a bigger role in this offense. And kind of like Sean and Sua said earlier, when the pass game isn't going great, when things aren't working through the air, as a quarterback, there's no better feeling than you have a running back that's going to produce. And that's what Travis Dye keeps doing week in and week out again. 7 yards of carry on the ground against Oregon State. That's unbelievable. And I'm glad that we kept going to him later on in the game.
I think what's interesting, too, is USC is 4th in the Pac-12 in rush offense and 5th in pass offense. This team has actually been a little bit more effective running the ball so far. And when Caleb didn't have things going his way last week, he turned to his feet, which is obviously something that he always has in his back pocket. All right, well, you can always join the show. We solicit questions throughout the week. True, anytime you use that hashtag, Trojan Tailgate Show, hashtag Trojan Tailgate Show, that gives you an opportunity to be on the show and ask these goofballs some questions. When we come back, we're going to talk about defense because defense was the story. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
The story of an airline. But wait, it's about more than just planes. It's a sci-fi story about a piece of trash that becomes sustainable aviation fuel. It's a rescue story about saving thousands of connecting flights. It's a romance, an adventure, a musical. But most of all, it's a people story, starring more than 80,000 hero characters on a mission to do good in the air and beyond. Because this is the story of an airline when good leads the way.
We get to play in one of the great stadiums in the world. First thing you got to do to become a great program is protect home. The energy and atmosphere, and here you are right in the heart of LA. Nothing else like it in our game. There's nothing that compares to it in college football. We got to have that place packed, man. I mean, that place in that setting, this school, this history, come on, man. That's as good as it gets, so we're going to get it back.
Hi, yes, I need a locksmith. 3 hours. Guess I'll be right here.
Oh, nice. 2% cash back, right?
And it is saving the day right now.
Good afternoon.
It was.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa Card. That's real life ready.
Alas, the ship rise to the morning. You know it's calling, me back home, put down the sorrow and dance to me.
Hey, LA, I know you've been doing a good job of using less water at home, but it's time to step up our efforts and conserve even more. Check out the various rebates and programs at ladwp.com/save. That's ladwp.com/save. Let's do this, LA. There we are. Got to get our good side.
Wait, that was my good side. You see how thick? That's thick in the back, man. Damn. For all you on the radio, there was a shot of our backsides there.
We'll do introductions another time.
Okay,
let's talk about defense because that's all that matters. Last week we were saying stupid things like, oh, you have to score 35 points to beat this team. Can the defense just not lose games? Well, they didn't score 35 points last week. The defense had to win the game, Sean. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, I remember the wild thing we said last week. No, if you hold them to 17, how can you beat the Trojans? Yeah. It was some wild stuff, but I thought it was an all-around defensive effort. We talked about a couple of these games where it was one or two guys. It was Shane Lee. It was Eric Gentry. It was Thule up front. But this game was an all-out effort, Jordan. This game was Stanley Tafoa up front. There was Tyrone Taleni. You got him some action. Jalen Smith got him some plays. Sierra Wright made a play, man. And Jalen Smith, man, it was an all-out. I love that everyone was involved. Everyone was getting to the ball. Everyone was tackling, and you could see they were feeding off each other.
Well, since you named the entire defense, yeah, I'll agree that the entire defense balled out. And even when there was plays where they gave up the chunk play, or we'll see those explosive runs that extend those drives, the bend but don't break mentality is something that's really resonating with this team. And I don't think this team really cares if you get a chunk play because they truly believe they can get that ball back to their offense at any time. The defense held it down, especially in the pass game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an offensive guy, so when I watch opposing teams, I like to watch their offense. And Oregon State was a very dominant run game, as an offense. But their leading rusher was Deshaun Fenwick, and he's a great player, and he's a very powerful back. But in the game, he had 11 carries, 29 yards, only 2.5 yards a carry when he was averaging over 5.5 a game. And very rarely throughout the game did you see those explosive runs that we'd been giving up in the first
Put some respect on their name. Yeah. That's what they said.
And I love when Max Williams tweeted out, I think it was Max after the game, just defense, all lowercase, because they've been hearing the noise. Everyone's been asking those questions.
And to your point, Oregon State as a team, it was their lowest rush total of the season, although I'm not sure what they did today against Utah. But, they had some quarterback issues, and USC exposed that. Utah exposed it again today. I actually think Chance Nolan got knocked out of that game with concussion issues. But it was interesting, Cody, because they didn't have any sacks, but all 4 interceptions, there was pressure in the face of a smaller quarterback, and that seemed to lead to the interceptions, even though the sack number wasn't there on the day.
And 2 things of that, exactly that. There's 2 plays specifically as well where you see the pressure getting to Chance Nolan that affected his throw, that made him make an errant throw, that led to an interception, as well as, and I can't leave him out right there, you see him on the screen, is Eric Gentry.
Yeah.
I can't tell you as a quarterback, especially trying to throw the ball over the middle, when you have a guy with that size and that wingspan and length, it makes it almost impossible to where you want to keep the ball outside the numbers.
What do you mean? I practiced against you all the time.
Yeah, you're not 6'6". Sua thinks he's 6'6".
What are we talking about here?
I mean, Sua Gentry knocks down a ball. The last 2 plays of the game on defense, he's in the backfield batting a pass down, and then he's 15 yards down the field batting a pass, which ends up in Max Williams' arms.
Yeah, and when we get to the cut-up, you'll see there's plays where he's on the line of scrimmage looking like a rush in that's going to send pressure. It looks like USC is going to send 6 or 7, and then at the snap, he's 10 yards in the middle of the field being that middle run-through player, and because he's so tall and his arms are so long, him being in the middle of the field basically eliminates any throws that are in between the hashes.
And that's why, Sean, I wonder, the question continues to be this ridiculous number of turnovers. Is it sustainable? It's not a lot of luck fumbles. It's a lot of picks. They lead the nation in interceptions, and, they seem forced at least.
Yeah, the first couple games I thought it was because of the lead and they were forced into the pass, but they did a good job shutting down the run last week, making Chance Nolan. I thought that was the game plan going in for Alex Grinch. Let's throw a lot of coverages at him, make him confused. He looked confused back there. He did this week too, but did a good job in the run game, and that was the most important last thing to get to Chance Nolan. Let's make Chance Nolan get back there and throw it 30, 40 times, and we're going to win those wins.
Stay with that, Sua, because I am interested. To me, this was the sort of Alex Grinch breakout game. Was just so much talk of Lincoln Riley for months and months and months, and we found out, there's a couple other guys in the staff that can coach too. He was doing some really interesting things up front. There was a lot of shifting going on. I thought Lincoln Riley had a great quote on Trojans Live this week where he was relaying a quote from Alex Grinch, which is, if the the offense can move, why can't the defense move too? It seemed to really bother Oregon State.
Yeah, they just couldn't get the consistent look. It seemed like when they thought they can call out 5-0 protection or they thought they can identify the mic it would snap and then change, and then now everything had to reset, and before you can call audible to fix the adjustment to the pressure, and then the play clock's going out, now you just got to go, and that kind of got the chance. He handled it well in the first quarter, but as the game progressed, you can kind of see it started getting him on his heels to the point where he didn't know who was blitzing, and he had to start forcing throws.
And even for a home team, I think Oregon State had 3 or 4 false starts. It just seemed like they were never in rhythm.
Yeah, and that's tough. And it's kind of the Caleb Williams thing we were talking about earlier. As a quarterback, what we saw from Chance Nolan is normally how it goes. When you start out the game slow, you throw those interceptions early on, it is extremely difficult to pull yourself out of it and get things going. And last year in the Coliseum, he threw 4 touchdowns. This year we went to Corvallis. He threw 4 picks. Defense played great and came out on top.
All right, loving the X's and O's. We're going to get to some more of that next. It'll be the offensive game plan. Cody Kessler will take us through. There's the tweet. Just defense. That's what people were tweeting the other day. Just what's your account about? Max Williams' account? It's about defense.
You sure that's Max's account? I don't see the blue check next to it.
I would have uppercase.
Well, maybe we got to get him a blue check. That's
got to get him a blue check.
Sue knows the right people.
Not enough followers on this team, man. People got to get behind Max Williams. That's why we throw it up there. Let's get that man a blue check. All right, we're coming back on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Tommy Trojan is at the 10.
Slices and dices.
Pulls up for 3 and knocks it through.
Another power play score.
USC superior in the sand.
May the right company turn any lake into a great lake. May true friendship be found in hard-to-reach places. May the toughest part of your day be deciding which arm to carry the cooler with. May you ditch malt-based hard seltzers for one with real vodka and real juice. And may high noon not just be a time of day, but the perfect way to enjoy it. High noon, sun's up.
Rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, where you can be an impact player, a clutch hitter, or a wild card. No matter what your game is, the excitement and relaxation you're looking for is here. So get back to the fun and play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
For the beer pong.
Trojan fans, get ready for game day and shop the Ralph's app for all your fresh tailgating faves. Ralph's is a proud partner of USC Athletics. Back on a beautiful but a little windy night. Sean's a little cold next to me.
Yeah, man.
Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Stuart Cravens, Cody Kessler.
Glass cutters are out. Watch out.
Maybe, you should have gone pullo. We all went pullover.
Yeah,
we went with the short sleeves.
I got some in the bag ready for you.
All right.
Did not read the forecast.
Our next thing in the bag is the offensive game plan coming your way from Cody Kessler.
Hot route. Red 7, red 7, red 7.
I don't know what red 7 means.
The USC Trojans offensive game plan is brought to you by Invesco QQQ. Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Fight on.
Last time we took a closer look at the creativity Coach Riley possesses as an offensive play caller. All the different looks and formations that the Trojans can get into to create those advantages on the outside and the perimeter, as well as all the different plays you can run off of those formations, which makes it extremely difficult for a defense to defend. Tonight I want to dive a little bit deeper into what Caleb Williams is seeing in the backfield as he's reading these quick game plays, these pass routes. There's 2 different plays specifically I want to look at, and we noticed the other night that Caleb struggled a little bit with his accuracy and things that we talked about before. So what do you do when a quarterback is struggling? You go to your quick game plays, your guaranteed completions, the play that you know he can run over and over again in his sleep. Now, if you look at the screen here, we're going to look at the same concept on both plays, but a different formation. Now, if you run the play, you're going to see the routes right here. Okay, so we have a quick route play here at the top of the screen. The inside guy is running a 5 to 7 yard out route, and the outside receiver is going to be running a go route, or as we called it sometimes in the NFL, the Gump route. Why do you call it the Gump route?
Just run.
Forrest Gump. Run, Forrest Gump. Your job is to run the defender off and do everything you can to clear out that area for the receiver. Now, Caleb does a great job here of recognizing they're going to get a zone pressure look here with a man-to-man again on the Gump route up top. So if you run the play, as we go, there, boom. Now, if you stop it, you see Caleb recognizing pre-snap that I know this pressure is coming. He knows this by getting his eyes immediately to that nickel defender that is coming off the edge. And when you're running quick game, the number one thing you want to do is throw into the teeth of the pressure because they are shorter defender to that side. Now, if you continue to run this play, I want you to key on what Caleb Williams is really looking at. Now, one, again, that nickel defender coming off the edge, pressuring. Great job by Travis Dye there, picking it up. As well as number 2, he's going to look at that cornerback. He sees it. He's turned around. His eyes are not to Caleb, and he is running out of the play, locked man-to-man. And then the third and most important player on this play that Caleb is reading is that safety who is coming down to fill the void of the linebacker pressure. Now, the way you beat that safety, the way you make it impossible for him to make a play is you understand pre-snap what's going on, you make a timely decision, and you get the ball out with great accuracy. And if you continue to run the rest of the play, you're going to see Caleb Williams do this. Great throw here to Taj Washington. And this is a crucial third down late in the third quarter, which ultimately kept the drive alive and allowed Travis Dye to finish in the end zone on 4th and 2. Now, with this route concept, I want you to look at the next play. 99% of the time, this ball is either going to go to the slot on the quick out, the running back on the check down, or Caleb can run or throw away. The 1% of time is this play right here. In the coverage, we have 33 double cloud. Now, let me break it down a little bit more. At the top specifically, we'll focus on what cloud coverage means. Now, if you run the clip a little bit, you'll see the routes again on the screen. Again, the same exact concept, nothing different, but a different look. This time you're going to see, again, like I said, the cloud coverage. The corner here is responsible at your top of your screen right there by the first down marker. His responsibility is that out route, is to settle in the flat because you can't see it on the screen, but behind him you have a safety that is playing over the top, cloud coverage, and he's responsible for that deep half. Now, as Caleb Williams drops back, he has to make this decision to throw that go route, which is an alert. It's not in the progression. It is, if you get cloud coverage, you can make this throw. And again, if you run the play, right here, you're going to see Caleb Williams immediately know, I have to look at that corner. Look at his eyes. If you stop that corner right there, although maybe gaining a little bit of depth, is in a squatted position with his eyes at Mario all the way through to Caleb. And Caleb knows if I put my foot in the ground and make an accurate and timely throw, I can beat the safety over the top. But it's so important, and I can't stress enough how accurate and how fast this decision has to make, or how fast this decision has to be made for this play to work. And if you watch the rest of the clip, again, Caleb does a great job of making that throw. And if you stop it, that's what I'm talking about. If that is a half second later, if you wait and you hesitate just a second, that safety is allowed to get involved, make an interception, and possibly in the game for the Trojans. And I think it's amazing how we talked about Caleb struggling all night and having difficulties, but for him to come back and that's a high-level throw. That is a very difficult throw you make maybe 3 or 4 times a game, and for him to take that risk and for it to pay off and ultimately win the game for the Trojans was awesome. And I look forward tonight if you see Caleb maybe struggling a little bit again or getting out of rhythm to go back to those quick games.
Man, Cody's breakdowns are so much more professional.
Take them to class, Cody. Yeah. Take them to class.
Hey, I just feel like I'm learning so much. I don't know. I forgot it was our turn to talk again because I was just going.
You think I'm scared to go after that? To add to Cody's point, you know, it's also very important for Jordan to release outside so the timing's not messed up. If he releases inside, he gives more space to the safety, which leads in a pick.
I just want to remind people that if you are listening on the radio, you can always watch us on YouTube or go back. It's archived on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, and you can see obviously these breakdowns more in depth. So check out the USC Athletics YouTube channels. But I think what we talked about a little bit last week, because we saw a hint of it from Fresno State, guys, is this, hey, we're going to sit back and force Caleb to be patient, and I think we saw that a lot more from Oregon State.
Yeah, they're just going to keep getting more of that, and then they're going to figure, they got to just take what they give him. I thought Caleb Williams in the first couple games was taking what they give him. Last game, he held onto the ball a little bit long, trying to make those big plays. It paid off in the end, but some of those stuff, you got to just take the little stuff early and get comfortable, get in the rhythm, make those layups, and then you can try to pick apart the defense.
But this is why the running game is important. Last year, we had a similar type offense where we throw the ball 40 or 50 times times, and teams will go, okay, we're just going to drop 8. Good luck. And we couldn't do anything but throw the ball up to Drake, and hopefully he brought it down. The difference with this offense this year is that we have a run game. So if you want to make it a light box and put 5, 6 in a box and think that's going to be good enough to stop this run offense, you're going to be in for a long day. And this is why Travis Dye has had 2 back-to-back breakout weeks.
Yeah, 3 straight 100-yard games for Travis Dye. First time in his career to do that. So that's why he is leading the way right now offensively. But as we mentioned, the defense was really the side that led the way last week. Sean and Sewell will break that down next. It's the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Wow. We're crunching tons of polygons here.
What's going on? Where's Regina?
Hi, I'm LaDonna. I invest in Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like real-time CGI.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, I got it.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and more in the prospectus at Invesco.com.
The fully electric Audi e-tron family is here. With models that fit any lifestyle and innovative ways to make your e-tron your own. Through elegant design and progressive technology, all the exhilaration, none of the compromise. The Audi e-tron family. Progress that moves you.
What if you could use retirement accounts to invest in crypto? With iTrust Capital, you can. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in your favorite crypto assets 24/7 with the tax benefits of an IRA. So instead of paying taxes on your crypto gains every year, you can defer taxes till you retire using an iTrust IRA. Or with an iTrust Roth IRA, you can withdraw tax-free at retirement because you're in this for the long haul. Start investing today at iTrustCapital.com.
We are going to compete. Let's go.
Ocean views, magical sunsets, a luxury resort like no other. Discover Terranea, located along the stunning Palos Verdes Peninsula in Southern California. Book your getaway to Terranea now at Terranea.com. Checking out the tailback group. We've talked a lot about Travis Dye so far. Kyle McDonald, the leader of that group, the coach. But you see Austin Jones, Raleek Brown, Darwin Barlow there as well. I'm Jordan Moore with Sean Cody, Stuart Cravens, Cody Kessler on the Tailgate Show, Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. It's time now for the defensive game plan.
Everyone knows defense wins championships. And a Trojans victory will require a solid defensive game plan.
Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3. Defense!
This is the USC Trojans defensive game plan. Brought to you by LifeLaw. Injury law made simple.
All right, y'all, for the segment that you all have been waiting for, and I know we're tired of the Bill Nye Science Guy offensive breakdown. We don't need nerds on the defensive side of the ball. We need dogs, and that's what we've seen. And there was one dog who, in particular, that was balling. His name is E.G. Eric Gentry. This man came out last week on fire. 8 tackles, 4 solo, 1 pick, 1 PBU, and let me tell you, he did it from every type of position, whether it was at rush in, whether it was at middle linebacker. I think he lined up at quarterback one play. I don't know. All I know is this man balled, and I'm going to show you with these 3 plays how much of an impact he made. The first play, the biggest thing that you need to pay attention to is that Alex Grinch is going to come out with 2 high looks to confuse these guys. He doesn't know if the quarterback doesn't know if you're sending pressure. He doesn't know if you're playing coverage. All he sees is Eric Gentry, 6'6", in the middle. How do I throw over that? Well, you see right here, that's a 2 high look. He's going to drop down the middle. He's going to look every direction that the quarterback is going to turn his shoulders. You're going to get an inside stunt, a loop across the center's face, which is going to create that pressure we talked about earlier, blinding the quarterback to this big body on the inside where he's going to throw a pick. Let it play. And this is Eric Gentry being an athlete. He's out in open space. This is a big guy. He can flip his hips. He can read the quarterback's eyes. You see his shoulders turn, make a play on the ball, and he catches it. That's actually 2 catches. We should put that in the stat book as a PBU and an interception. Nonetheless, he made a play on the ball. The next play, this same exact look. You're going to get a too high look. And Eric Gentry actually came from the line of scrimmage on this play. We're a little bit further in, but he's going to drop in. And right here, this forces the quarterback to throw over this guy, this big basketball body, which forces an overthrow. When you're 6'6" and you have a 7-foot wingspan, the quarterback can't fit it in these tight spaces that he wants to put it, so he has to air it, which creates a Sierra Wright interception. Plays like this, even when he doesn't make the play, he is making the play, because right there, that's an easy completion, but because he's so tall, it's an overthrow, and we can be opportunistic. Now, same play, this is the stunts that we put on this quarterback last week to create this confusion, this pressure that you need. Inside loop. He's going to do a little Euro step, Manu Ginobili back to the center and get this pressure. I thought it was hideous, but it worked. Let it play. And this is what you need. I know Sean likes this right here. Ooh, a little jab step to get into, and he still gets there. And as you can see, it leads into a bad throw. These are the pressures and the stunts that we have created in these too high looks where you think you have time to throw, but not really. Now, right here, Eric Gentry's on the line of scrimmage. You can't even see him. At the snap, he's going to drop straight back. It's the same exact play. It's a too high look, but from pre-snap, the quarterback, all he sees is 7-man pressure. I've got to get it out fast. So immediately at the snap, he's going to start panicking. He's going to flip his shoulders left or right. He's looking at the same defense. He just doesn't know where it's coming from and who's the middle run-through player. And he's going to back straight up from the line of scrimmage, read the quarterback's shoulders, get a hand on that ball, and create the game-winning interception. Eric Gentry has been a force in the run game, but I'm more appreciative of him in his pass game because he's so tall. A basketball body out there is very hard to throw around. He's created so many opportunities for not only himself, but the rest of his SC defense.
Yeah, Jordan, for my plays, I selected some plays from Alex Grinch. I want to take a look at what Alex Grinch is doing up front. I think with the guys, it's kind of throwing them off. We talked a little bit about the stemming of the front, and let's break some of these plays down and what Alex Grinch is really doing up front. Right here, we got 3 men right here in the front. These 3 guys that are up in a circle right here are all going to move to the left on a call from the linebacker, Eric Gentry. He's going to give a move call. And when that does, you're trying to create confusion in offense. They're going to mix up the gaps and show where they're going to go. Here he gives the move call here on this play. On 3rd down, you give that move call. What's it cause? It causes confusion. That sets this tight off. And he thinks that everyone's going, everyone's getting off, everyone's taking off, and he goes false start. And that's a win for the defense on 3rd and short. Move them back 3rd and long. They win that down. Oregon State punts. Here's another one. 3 guys up front. They're going to use that stem call again. Eric Gentry's giving that call. Here's 4th down. This is 4th and short, Jordan. This is a big play in the ball game here. You think they're going to go for it here? You're going to use that stem call again. Eric Gentry with the call again. Boom. Offensive tackle, offside, false start again, and you pick up another one. Here on the next play, you're going to use the stem call. You're not going to draw a false start, but you're going to get a one-on-one block. Typically, the guard and the center are going to work on Brandon Peely here. They're going to combo block up to the linebacker. That's what they typically do. But when he moves over to that zero shade, now the center has him one-on-one. And when you get big Brandon Peely one-on-one, that's a lot better than getting that chip block, and no one wants a guard and center. Now, Brandon Peely one-on-one with the center, he's going to wear him out with his hands. Big 91 to bear inside, making the plays with his hands, gets down. I don't like the tackle, all shoulder, but hey, man, one-on-one, he wins. That's a huge play right there. I love that play. I got one more play for you.
Run it back.
I got the run it back play of the week. Sua had it. He's got it's called the coffee house move here. We're going back to Solomon Byrd it's called the coffee house. You step back.
The okie doke.
Yeah, it's taking a cup of coffee. Offensive line thinks you're taking a break. Taking a cup of coffee. They call it the coffee house move. Learned it from some of my defensive line coaches.
What'd you say?
Offensive line, they decide, oh no, we don't need to block this guy. He's dropping back in coverage. That's when Solomon Byrd wants him to think, and now he's coming back inside. He gets a free run to the quarterback. Offensive lineman, forget about him. Oh, the coffee house, Jordan. An old pass rush favorite of mine. Love tricking offensive linemen. Nothing better than fooling offensive linemen. We got a special one coming up later on. We're going to have to talk about the old coffee house with our guest. But Solomon Byrd gets there. One of the biggest plays of the game.
Solomon Byrd was my MVP last week.
Ends it off there with a big pick for Sierra Wright. That's just a huge play. Some fun plays there.
A lot of circles and arrows on your guys, too. I mean, we're just really the game plan.
I like how theirs are.
Shout out the crew. Shout out the crew.
Professional circles on theirs. I like the John Madden system.
The Trojan Tailgate Show, just big time. time this week. Very impressed. The last thing I wanted to touch on defensively, Alex Grinch is just a no-nonsense kind of guy, and I think everyone is really excited about that. There were some quotes this week where he talked about it, in part in relation to Corey Foreman, but we just saw all different kinds of guys out there last week. It seems like playing time is entirely being determined based on the role he wants you in and how hard you're working during the week, and that is refreshing.
Yeah, it's no nonsense. After the game, I was excited. I was pumped up. I said, Alex Grinch, way to go. And he was like, yep, got to get better. And I was like, that was it. And I was like, Coach, you just threw almost a shutout again. A great performance. But Alex Grinch, he's a no-nonsense guy. He's about his business, getting better, and that's what these defenders are. They've gotten better every single week under his scheme, and they're playing hard, man. And it's not just one or two guys. All guys are buying in.
He reminds me of Coach Pendergast I had my freshman year, but he was no nonsense. I remember my freshman year, he told a DB who messed up. We were winning by like 30, and he told him who messed up, you should transfer because you'll never play for me again. That's how no nonsense he was. And Coach Grinch gives me the same vibes. You're never going to get a seniority clause. You're never going to get he started for this amount of time, so he should know. If you're not doing your job, produce. Next man up. And that's how the Pete days were. I mean, you can speak on that better than I can, but when you got guys who are ready to ball, ready to go out and perform on the field, Coach Grinch is going to recognize you and give you the opportunity.
They were always trying to bench Sean for many, right?
Yeah, man. That's how they keep you scared, man. They got to keep someone behind you. Hey, Cody, you want Manny Wright to get in? Oh, Coach, I better make a play.
All right, next up is going to be this week's Impact Player. It's coming on the defensive side of the ball as well. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Tommy Trojan.
Did I mention Smart Stop Self-Storage has state-of-the-art security systems operating 24 hours a day? So we see everything. Everything.
Caleb Williams, quarterback, USC. What I like most about athletic is that I can worry about my body and still go out and socialize, have fun with friends, and feel fresh and focused still.
Sometimes faster isn't always better. Like when you're getting a tattoo. Or saying I love you on the first date. Or putting together certain Swedish furniture.
But when it comes to getting in and out of the airport, faster is always better. And at Ontario International Airport, you can have a stress-free experience from the curb to the gate.
It's the least we can do.
When the stadium lights are dimmed, when the cameras stop flashing, when the pads are off, the pressure sinks in and it's just me in a world of expectation. Nobody can carry that alone. But pressure doesn't have to be carried alone. What if we came together as a team? Embrace talking openly about our mental health.
If we reached out, checked in.
Seize the awkward.
Imagine what we could do.
You're always a winner at Pollo Campero. Download the Campero app and get $10 credit towards your first purchase. Pollo Campero is the official chicken of USC Athletics. Back in the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Cody Kessler with you live inside the Coliseum. It's time now for this week's Impact Player.
The Impact Player of the Week. Brought to you by Terranea Resort.
Ocean views, magical sunsets, a luxury resort like no other. Discover Terranea, located along the stunning Palos Verdes Peninsula in Southern California. Book your getaway to Terranea now at terranea.com.
Let's go! And now, the Impact Player of the Week.
All right, this week's Impact Player is Makai Blackman. He has been a leader in the secondary so far. You've had two great picks, completely different plays. I'm curious, which one was harder? The one you got to fight for in the end zone or the one where you sort of turn into the receiver?
I don't know, to be honest. I'll say they both were hard, but I don't know which one is harder.
Take us through the one last week at Oregon State. It was such a big play in the game.
The guy just kind of stemmed me over, ran an over route. I covered it, and it basically like I was running the post. I played receiver in high school, so it was just like I was running the post, and then it just happened to fall right into place. So.
What's it like for you, the different types of games? Stanford, you were targeted so much. Some of these games, they're not throwing your way at all. How does that change things for you?
Just got to settle in and get used to it faster. Of course, with Stanford, I was getting way more targets to adjust to how they were playing me and stuff like that. But when it's your time, like when your number is called, you just got to go guard them. So.
You guys as a group are leading the nation in interceptions. What's the confidence like, particularly in that DB room right now?
Same as when we started. Last week, doesn't matter about this week, so we just continue to try to enforce turnovers. So.
Well, tell me about this week. We're looking at Arizona State and Emory Jones at quarterback. What do you see from the Sun Devils?
They're a good team. They pass really well. They have one of the top receivers in the conference, so looking forward to guarding those guys.
Looking forward to watching Makai Blackman, this week's Impact Player. All right, back live in the Trojan Tailgate Show. Brandon Carswell. Ooh. Blasting the pass there. Makai Blackman is a top corner in the nation. Debate your mama.
Heavy clean.
Well, I tell you what, he is a huge addition, Sua. I mean, the two picks that he's had, the degree of difficulty, just exceptional technique in both cases, but very different plays. The one last week live, I was just blown away by. I mean, he just ran the route better than the receiver did.
Yeah, and what makes the difference between a good corner and a great corner is a guy who can take the ball away, a guy who can catch it and limit opportunities for the offense. And Makai has done that. Last week, he basically turned into the receiver. As he said, he played receiver in high school and ran a post route for him and caught the ball and brought it in. But what I'm most impressed about is that week in and week out, this guy is slowly giving Coach Grinch the faith to leave him out on that island. We can start moving these safeties over from even play to leaning a little bit over to Sierra's side to give the youngin a little bit of support. When you have that type of respect from your DC and the trust from your play or your teammates as a corner, you're establishing a reputation for yourself. This is my island, and no drinks are comped. You must pay for everything. So, Makai, if you're going to be the best corner in the Pac-12, it started 2 weeks ago. It started last week. It starts tonight, and we have a lot more challenges to go. But tonight, I'm excited to see him against this good receiver.
I just love the idea, too, that there's great players on all these teams, and sometimes you play Colorado and you beat them by 5 touchdowns and you go, oh, they're all bad, but they're not. Makai was on that team. Mm-hmm. He's really good. Oregon got a transfer cornerback from that team. There's really good players. It just takes a whole team to be good, and now that Makai's shown what he can do, Sierra Wright, if you're a quarterback, Cody's going to get a lot of work, and he stepped up last week.
Yeah, he played great, and it was really exciting to see him get his first interception as a Trojan. And not only that, he's been in the right position a lot of these games. It was kind of destined for it to happen, but the timing of it, and after that interception, that was actually kind of what sparked our offense. That very next drive, we went down and finished in the end zone there with Travis Dye. So that play, perfect timing, great position. Again, Sua broke it down early with Eric Gentry being in the same spot. So you really see the defense starting to play together.
And now the competition part kicks in because that 5-star kid is sitting behind you, Damani Jackson. We saw him last week make his debut, and this is what a program is all about, right? Sierra's already raised his level, and now Damani can push him even harder, and now you got depth and talent.
Yeah, you have guys now, and when you have that, you create that competition. But I thought Alex Grinch did a great job implementing Damani. He didn't just throw him out there to the Wolves. He had a little package set for him. They had a big package that came in. He came in and made a tackle, got comfortable, didn't go out there, throw him on the island and get scorched, and then your confidence goes to waste. Alex Grinch did a good job, brought him in the package, limited amount of plays. Hey, get your feet wet, get used to this game. Did a great job, and I like the way he was physical out there. Looks like a stud in his uniform, number one. He can fly around and hit you. Look for a bright future from Damani.
Well, it says fit check Sua on the rundown. Oh, no, they're going straight to a question here. I thought we were going to rate that fit, but since the wind's kicked up, maybe we'll jump into a question here from Pac NW. Guys, what was the worst weather you ever played in?
In college? Or anywhere?
You could say anywhere, bud.
Oh, well, I played in Lambeau Field when it was -4.
Oh,
but I played in the Pac-10 at the time. We played at Washington State and it was hailing. Remember that game? It was hailing before the game.
You guys seem to enjoy that, though.
Yeah, we got excited. It kind of fired us up for the game. So that was the worst weather I think I played in.
I'd probably say, I played in some rough games in the league too, but I'd probably say my freshman year at Colorado in Boulder, it was like 10 degrees and Leonard Williams mud stomped my toe. I thought I was going to be on IR, out for the rest of the season, but it was pretty cold that day.
Yeah, I'm torn because because I played in Cleveland. You got that wind coming off of Lake Erie. Very cold. I can't remember college many games that were that bad. That game was cold, and then I played in Jacksonville, so I'm torn. I don't know. I'd rather either play in the cold or play in the really hot. It doesn't really matter to me. But
cold is terrible.
It's tough.
No way.
It seemed like Colorado, it was always a Friday night in November.
Just
right
cold
Halloween.
for no reason.
Terrible. Cold for no reason. I'm with you. All right, after the break, we're going to take a closer look at the Sun Devils. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
This is the story of an airline. But wait, it's about more than just planes. It's a sci-fi story about a piece of trash that becomes sustainable aviation fuel. It's a rescue story about saving thousands of connecting flights. It's a romance, an adventure, a musical. But most of all, it's a people story, starring more than 80,000 hero characters on a mission to do good in the air and beyond. Because this is the story of an airline when good leads the way.
Hi, yes, I need a locksmith. 3 hours. Guess I'll be right here. Oh, nice. 2% cash back, right? And it is saving the day right now.
Good afternoon.
It was.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa Card. That's real life ready.
May today be a day for golf. Or at least for getting outside. May your ball always be easy to find. Oh, look, there it is. May the friends you choose and the hard seltzer you choose make up for the club you chose. And may one round for the ages lead to another. High noon. Sun's up.
Getting that perfect slice is satisfying, fulfilling, and rewarding too. But we don't do it for fun. We do it for fresh. Slice to order makes a sub above.
Old Dominion Freight Line is the official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, Cody Kessler. We're getting closer to kickoff. A little bit over an hour to go before USC takes on Arizona State, a Pac-12 battle, Pac-12 after dark battle here inside the Coliseum. So now let's take a look at the Sun Devils in this week's scouting report.
It's time for the Scouting Report. Brought to you by Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics. Now, we're going to help you get to know today's opposing team.
Well, when we take a look at Arizona State, guys, it gives me a little bit of deja vu. It reminds me a little bit of the Trojans last year, to be honest. And, they let go of Herm Edwards very early on in the season. They gave it over to Sean Aguanos, who's more of he's a position coach, not not the obvious coordinator spot. And then every quote I've read from Aguano is accountability, discipline. It sounds a lot like Dante Williams to me last year.
Yeah, we've been there, right? We remember last year and the problems that brings, and that's what's going on in Arizona State. And fortunately, we don't feel bad for that situation. It's
nope.
Trojans are going to push forward and try to put a stomping on them. But a team that's just trying to find them way. Sean Aguanu has a group here led by. Somebody saying Emory Jones, the quarterback, who's a young man. He can get around with his legs a little bit, looking for accuracy in the passing game a little bit. But a team that just really hasn't defined itself yet, and it's a lot of flux right now too. So just a lot of things that Trojans can take advantage of today, and I look for them to do that.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for them at all. I mean, me and Cody, we had 4 or 5 different head coaches, 3 in one season at one point. So this is just a team that has to find their way. Obviously, they're going through a rough patch. They looked like they were on a come up maybe a few years ago, but they hit a wall and now things are kind of slipping back, so they have to find themselves and find their identity. Unfortunately, it will not be tonight.
Arizona State famously got one of those USC head coaches fired, if I recall, in a game.
Tarmac.
Coming out of Tempe. They brought up Emory Jones, Cody. I'm confused because his stats last year say super mobile quarterback, maybe even run first quarterback. His stats this year, he's not running at all.
Yeah, and that was interesting to see when you watch the tape is he was such a dual threat quarterback that it made defenses really have to cover both the pass and the run game when he was dropping back. But, he's got 3 rushing touchdowns already on the season, but he's not showing it a lot. It looks like there's a lot of times he's hesitant to take off, or when maybe he should tuck the ball and run, he's not doing it. So for whatever reason that is, again, I hope he doesn't start tonight, or hopefully Coach Crance's got a plan and, place and plan for that. But, there's a lot of different things he did last year at Florida that you're not really seeing this year at Arizona State.
Guys, when you look at their skill players, there's some new names there. They were sort of a lot of players taken from them in the portal, including Eric Gentry, who we've talked about a million times here tonight. So they've had to go into the portal and find some talent, but they have some skill players coming up, and one who stands out is Xavier Valade. He's right there among the league's leaders in rushing. So I would imagine with Jones and Valade, they'll try to run the ball here tonight.
Yeah, they can get the job done a little bit. I looked them to turn to the run a little bit, take a little weight off Emory Jones. You said, Cody talked about it earlier, when you get that run game going, you get your quarterback in the groove. I like Elijah Badger at the wide receiver position. So they got some guys that can make some plays, and that's what the Trojans got to do tonight. Another test, trying to find out who's going to go, and they got to find out what guy they want to lean on tonight. Is it going to be Emory Jones? Is it going to be the running back? Is it going to be Badger at wide receiver? So Trojans figured that out early, and I think they can really snuff this one out.
And defensively, I know, Cody, you were looking at a lot of their tape. They've also lost a lot of coaches because of this NCAA scandal that they've had to deal with. What kind of system are you seeing?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. They're a 4 down front, and we touched on it earlier on when we were talking. They're a big zone coverage defense. We're going to see a lot of zone tonight, and that's where Travis Dye, Austin Jones, these guys get to get involved. And then the breakdown you saw earlier, Caleb Williams starting off strong, getting some quick game going, and really making them come up because they're not afraid to give up the underneath stuff. They like to play deep coverage, not give up the big play, and make you earn it the long way.
All right, I teased it earlier, but it's time now, Sua. It's time to rate that fit. Let's see what the Trojans walked in with today. Start with Damani.
Damani dressed like Will Smith in Men in Black 1. But, yeah, it's fire. You know what I'm saying? Extra pockets. Probably has a lot of chapsticks on him. Something like that. But he's looking good. I like it. Nice little bust-down chain right there, too. Ooh, hey, that's nice right there. That's modern-day-esque right there. That suit, probably $2,000 right there.
Suit and the T-shirt look?
That looks good right there. Ooh.
Is that Caleb?
Is that a Letterman's jacket?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I think I saw that in Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg's music video. That's I like it, because normally we're expecting him to dress like the Beatles. He took Caleb's swag right there.
Yeah.
Actually, it depends on who came in first. Whoever came in first, leading behind them, they stole the swag. Oh, that's hard right there. A Raptors tie-dye. Don't leave that in the locker room. I might get it. It might be mine.
Yeah, we saw this video coming in. I don't even know who this is. We could have been
superstars.
Yeah, that's Super Gremlin.
Super Gremlin. Boy, he came in here ready to take names, take a ball, take a jersey. Man, hey, he's ready to go. I know he's hot.
And God.
Man.
Rate that fit.
You posed for this?
Check me out. Yeah, of course.
You knew. Oh, wow.
Now, if you're scared, get out of here, man, because that'll knock you out of the Coliseum here.
You look like a city councilman.
Stern.
I'm just glad Sua doesn't do my fit checks before I leave the house.
And look, Sean has quickly already changed the fit. Big fella's cold. Going with the long sleeve. Showed up tough guy short sleeve. Yeah. Very quickly changes to the long sleeve. All right, we got a lot more Trojan Tailgate Show to come. Just over an hour to kickoff here inside the Coliseum. Stay tuned for more Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Smart Stop Self-Storage has state-of-the-art security systems operating 24 hours a day. So we see everything. Everything.
Wow. We're crunching tons of polygons here.
What's going on? Where's Regina?
Hi, I'm LaDonna. I invest in Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like real-time CGI.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, I got it.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and more in the prospectus at Invesco.com.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
Inside the Coliseum, some of the Trojans are headed back up the tunnel to get fully suited and booted for this one. Most of the Trojan defense headed up right now. I think you saw it teased on our screen if you're watching on the stream, but we will have Sam Baker here soon. The 3-time All-American offensive tackle is going to lead the Trojans out of the tunnel tonight. But first, I came up with another game this week, guys. You've seen there's no paddles this week.
I was going to say,
no paddles, but this is going to be a board and a draft. You're going to be very confused. You're going to love it. But it's this week's Cardinal and Gold Report.
It's time for the Cardinal and Gold Report.
Cardinal and Gold!
Presented by Pechanga Resort and Casino, proud partner of USC football.
All right, this is the instant impact game. So you can have a little bit of a draft here, and you got to say which player so far has had the biggest impact. And I have a player or coach. I have it in 3 different categories. So the first category is who you have to choose from. They're going to put it on the screen for you, Sean. You get to have the first pick
Sean
here.
gets first pick?
He gets first pick with impact transfers. Okay, so they're going to put 6 names on the screen for you, or maybe there's even more than 6 names. Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison, Travis Dye, Eric Gentry, Makai Blackman, Solomon Byrd, Shane Lee. Biggest impact transfer so far.
Just one?
Just one.
Okay, I'm going to go with Eric Gentry on defense. I'm going to go with the linebacker causing havoc. I think that would be my first selection.
All right, well, that has been taken away. Sua, now you can pick from the rest. Who is the next impact transfer?
And the second pick in the 2022 Trojan Tailgate Draft, the Cravens organization will be selecting Jordan Addison.
Wow. We're getting to pick 3. We haven't gotten the quarterback yet. He's the #1 transfer in the country, but Gentry and Addison.
Too expensive.
Too expensive?
Too expensive.
Cody Kessler, I assume that leaves you with the quarterback.
That's exactly where I'm going. I'm going with Caleb Williams for my first pick. The only pick. No, I'm just kidding. But he's been playing at a high level. Obviously had a little bit of an off night last week. Look forward to him bouncing back this week.
So I get to go again?
I get to go.
Oh.
And that's the
serpentine.
last one.
I was super excited. I thought I got another pick.
I'm going to get Travis Dye.
Oh, man, I wanted that bad. I wanted that one
Travis
bad.
Dye, and I'll say to you guys, it's not just stats, it's personality. He has added so much toughness and personality to this team, which was beyond sorely lacking in the last couple of years. We have needed a guy like Travis Dye. Okay, impact returners. Sua gets the first pick this time.
Okay.
So let's get the impact returners board up. So these are all returning players that Lincoln Riley
The fact you thought that Travis Dye would slip to the second.
Andrew Voorhees, Brett Nealon, Justin Dietich, Taj Washington, Tuli Tuipulotu, Kalen Bullock, and Max Williams.
I'm going Tuli Tuipulotu, the big oos, because
just took him right off of Sean's board.
Yeah, he wanted him, and we'll trade later. We'll negotiate picks or something. But he's been wreaking havoc. Even when his name's not called, he's making the play.
Cody?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Justin Dietich here. He's been playing great football this year. Obviously bounced around the last couple of years and earned that starter. Well, not only a starter, too, but he's now a captain on the team, and he's been playing at a very high level.
Sean?
I thought you would go next.
Well, I mean, I guess I can.
You go next. That's only fair.
If I get to go next, I want to shout out Taj Washington. I'll be honest, he's a guy that I didn't think about a lot coming into this season. He was the most catches last week against Oregon State. Taj has really become a weapon in this offense as the third receiver.
You guys left me Brett Nealon, the Nealon nudge, the guy who won the game last week. I'll take Brett Nealon, the Nealon nudge. It's going to be a epic play in USC history. For even Lincoln Riley said it was was going to be. And the quarterback of that offensive line gets to call all the plays. I think Brett is really the star for me as this season has started.
All right, last one, the impact position coach. So we took Lincoln Riley off. We took Alex Grinch off. You have the rest. Kyle McDonough, running backs. Dennis Simmons, receivers. Josh Henson, offensive line. Sean Nua, defensive line. Roy Manning, outside linebackers. Brian Odom, linebackers. Dante Williams, cornerbacks. Cody?
Starting off, I'm going to go Coach Henson here. I think he's doing a great job with the offensive line, as well as, being the offensive coordinator, quote unquote, with Coach Riley. And I got to spend some time with him in the offseason and got a great mind for the football.
We got to be quick here. I'm going to shout out Dante Williams. He's the one returning coach on there. And I think that the technique of the corners so far has been greatly improved from what we've seen in recent years.
I'm going Brian Odom. I think linebackers have done a great job. Shane Lee, Eric Gentry have been playing well.
Coach Newell, D-line held it down last week. They're getting better and better each week, and that's because of coaching.
All right. Thank you for playing the Instant Impact game. Up next, we are going to hear from the All-American, three-time All-American, get ourselves a big offensive lineman up on the stage. It's Sam Baker next in the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti.
Rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, where you can be an impact player, a clutch hitter, or a wild card. No matter what your game is, the excitement and relaxation you're looking for is here. So get back to the fun and play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
What if you could use retirement accounts to invest in crypto? With iTrust Capital, you can. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in your favorite crypto assets 24/7 with the tax benefits of an IRA. So instead of paying taxes on your crypto gains every year, you can defer taxes till you retire using an iTrust IRA. Or with an iTrust Roth IRA, you can withdraw tax-free at retirement because you're in this for the long haul. Start investing today at itrustcapital.com.
This is the story of an airline. But wait, it's about more than just planes. It's a sci-fi story about a piece of trash that becomes sustainable aviation fuel. It's a rescue story about saving thousands of connecting flights. It's a romance, an adventure, a musical. But most of all, it's a people story, starring more than 80,000 hero characters on a mission to do good in the air and beyond. Because this is the story of an airline when good leads the way.
I think this year more than ever, it's about embracing our identity. It's going to be really exciting, and we're going to go after it.
Zoe Bird with the leg. Waxy finishing the Ouzo. And the ricochet goes through.
Welcome back live in the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, Cody Kessler, and we're joined on the stage by three-time All-American Sam Baker. Welcome back, Big Sam.
Thanks, appreciate it, guys.
Good to have you. We finally we got some offensive line talk to get to. Reminder, everyone who is watching Inside the Bowl here, you can check it out on YouTube. I think they scan that QR code up on the video board, and you can watch the rest of the show as we take you all the way up till kickoff. But we want to talk to Sam here first. We've been talking running game. We've shout out some offensive linemen. Are you liking what you're seeing from Lincoln Riley's Trojans so far?
Big guys are getting it right now, and it's been great to see. It's a big emphasis around here. It's a strong tradition of big guys that have done it, and so it's great to see, with this fast start here.
Sam, what's it like to be back in the building, man? Obviously, the fans are fired up for you to be back. I'm fired up for Big Sam Baker to be back.
Yeah.
What's it like to be back in the Coliseum?
I mean, the energy's palpable. You can feel it right now. Expectations are high. Guys are rolling again. You can feel it from the fans, the energy out in the parking lot. It's cool. It's cool.
Sam, we saw, we're all aware of the Bush push. You know how monumental that play was up in South Bend.
Yeah.
We need that score to win the game to continue the season, to go to the national championship. Last week, we have a fourth down. The kneeling nudge is what they've trademarked it.
Yeah.
We grade the Bush push at 10 out of 10. What do you grade the kneeling nudge?
Oh, that's a 10 out of 10. And you know how valuable that moment is in your season, that defining moment where there's going to be a tough road Pac-12 game, and it's that will to win, that last bit of effort that we got, and to see the linemen do that, and then we make the play at the end. It kind of sets your season on a great trajectory.
Huge play.
Yeah.
And you played on some teams while you're here where the expectations were so big. As we see this team continue to go through the season, those expectations continue to rise.
Yeah.
What's your best advice for this team to continue to handle that?
Focus on yourselves. I mean, that was the whole message when we were here before. Is like, it's about us. We control our own destiny, and you can see the talent we have, the leadership we have. Just focus on ourselves week to week, try to get better, be in the best position at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You're listening to Sam Baker here on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. And Sean, Sam's not a guy that likes to talk about himself, so I want you to talk about him real quick, because when I look at the resume, and I was here and watched him play, it's one of the most underrated Trojans ever. I mean, 3-time first-team All-American. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that.
Yeah, first-round draft pick. I don't know who's underrating him, but this is one of the reasons the Pete Carroll era was successful was offensive lineman, and Sam was one of those guys who really got it down. Him and Ryan together, man, that offensive line was going at a high clip, and that's where this thing wants to get going. I think that's where Lincoln wants to get going, and it's built on the backs of these kind of guys, these kind of character guys. They don't talk about themselves. Yep. Sam's not someone who's going to, he didn't want to get up here and do this, but this is where it's built at. This is the character you need, the kind of players that this whole thing was built on.
Well,
Sam, so it was great.
Appreciate it.
We'll keep the trend going of not talking about yourself. I see you're working with one of my closest friends. He's a former Trojan,
No
Chris
doubt.
Hawkins. What's it like coaching with Seahawks?
It's incredible. The amount of energy, the expertise, the kind of character, the leadership that he brings. It's honestly like the high school kid.
Listen, you don't have to gas him up.
No. I've just been so impressed with the kid. You can see why he was on that trajectory to be a big-time coach at some point, and he'll get back on that. But just it's invaluable for me as a coach to be around that guy. You know what I mean?
And I got one more question. This is more so as a fan's point of view.
Yeah.
But what was your favorite memory or game here when you were a USC Trojan?
Obviously you have the championship moments and all that, and it's great when Reggie Bush bails you out of a bunch of situations. But I mean, you think about the rivalry games, you think about the UCLA's and all that. I mean, like Sean's senior year, I think they averaged they gave up 1.2 yards per carry.
Yeah.
And so watching those defenses bail us out. I mean, there's so many great times, but I just say beating UCLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
That works every time. All right, Sam is going to lead the team out of the tunnel tonight. He is back in the house, and we've got something even more special tonight. So we've got this cool lights out intro. I don't even think you've seen this before, Sam. You're going to count it down. It's going to go all dark, but then everyone's got to make sure they download the USC Trojans Game Day app. We put the QR code up on the screen, up on the video board. Make sure you get that USC Trojans Game Day app. It's a place where you can get your tickets. You can get our show. There's all kinds of stuff on there. But there's going to be a special light show tonight. So you hold
For Sam?
For everybody.
I want a light show for Sam. Sam's all blacked out. He looks great.
So get those phones out, get that app open, and we are going to queue up something pretty cool, a great moment inside the Coliseum tonight. Welcome back, Sam Baker. Awesome to have you. A Trojan great returns. When we come back, we'll hear from the head coach, Lincoln Riley. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
It's time for the Student Veteran Interview, brought to you by IBEW 11, NECA, and Pipe Trades. Together, these groups proudly support USC. Fight on!
This week's Student Vet Interview is with Deshante Lewis. Deshante, thanks for joining me, and thank you for your service. You're Fire Support Sergeant and Paratrooper in the U.S. Army's 82nd Airborne Division. You also earned a Division I scholarship to run track for Chicago State University. What do you think is the through line between being great as a soldier and also being a great athlete?
I think holding yourself accountable and being a great team player, you could take that with the Army and with track, being a part of a team. You want your team to win, you want your team to be great. So you take accountability for yourself and really make sure that you use the team aspect on that.
And now you're back at USC and you're getting your Master of Business for Veterans program degree at the UC Marshall School of Business. What do you plan to do with that degree?
Getting into the tech startup world, whether that's project management or entrepreneurship. And I want to take that and build off that and take the skill sets I learned from the Marshall program and apply that there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Deshante. Enjoy the game today, and thank you so much for your service. Deshante Lewis, he's this week's Student Vet Interview.
Fight on.
Back on the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. We're counting it down inside the Coliseum. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Cody Kessler with you. And now it's time to hear from the head coach, Lincoln Riley, with Keely Eure in this week's Prescription to Win interview.
Who's going to teach you how to play football?
My football coach.
Let's go!
This is your Prescription to Win. Brought to you by USC Pharmacy, proud partner of USC Athletics. At USC Pharmacy, it's all about your health. Learn more at pharmacies.usc.edu. And now, here is head coach Lincoln Riley.
I'm Keely Eure here with head coach Lincoln Riley. Coach, after a gritty win in Corvallis, what do you learn about the character of your team?
Well, you see that some of the things we're working on behind the scenes are showing up, and the guys are trusting that. They're staying together. They're fighting in that arena. It's always, it can feel different off-season, spring ball, camp, all the times when you're somewhat enclosed, and then all of a sudden you're out there on the stage for the world to see. And sometimes it can feel different. You see teams handle that differently. It was good to see us kind of band together, fight together, and find a way to tough out a very important win.
You described the offense against Oregon State as getting impatient at times. What will it look like if they are patient against ASU?
Hopefully a lot better. Hopefully we'll score more and more often and earlier. So, yeah, I mean, not every game's going to go perfect. I mean, we started off the other games pretty well offensively. We didn't start this one off well, but you gotta stay the course, right? You can't panic. You can't get away from who you want to be and us knowing ourselves and the way we want to run this offense. We've got to stick to that no matter what. So, been a big point of emphasis, and obviously expect to play a lot better. Know that our team's going to need the offense to play better.
You've said previously that winning is hard and winning doesn't look the same. So in a world where everyone expects perfection, how do you handle those expectations?
Oh, you win, especially on the road. You win by 1 point or 50 points. You find a way to get a win, and you go back to work. And I'm thrilled with the win. It was a very, very important win. And every team's going to have an opportunity to learn lessons along the way. You either learn them by losing or learn them by winning. So hopefully we can learn the lessons of the good things we did and keep that going, improve the things that we need to improve, and understand each week is going to be its own thing.
You described that Caleb Williams had an off night throwing-wise. In your career, how do you see quarterbacks bounce back from that? What do you expect from him against Arizona State?
You just refocus. I mean, that's not the rule. That's the exception. Caleb's a very gifted thrower. I've been lucky to coach some pretty gifted throwers, and every one of them have a night like that. I mean, it just happens. And the key is how do you handle it? And he and the offense responded well at the end, made some of his best throws at the end, and I would anticipate that would continue on into this one.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the time and good luck on Saturday.
All right, thank you.
This is your Prescription to Win with head coach Lincoln Riley.
Back live inside the Coliseum, guys. Now, I think the topic for Lincoln Riley this week is we've talked so much about him, the play caller, the offensive genius. I think what we saw last week is he's the head coach.
Yep.
And I find that to be a little bit of a problem in college football, NFL football these days. Is they've gone so hard to this offensive genius model. A lot of them aren't great head coaches. I think what we're seeing from Lincoln is he's got this team buying together. He's just as happy to win by running, by throwing, by winning on defense. defense, on special teams. He really seems like much more of a complete head coach than a lot of these sort of gurus that get the head jobs these days.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just being a coordinator. It's a skill set being a head coach. It's being a leader. It's trusting all your pieces that are in the right place. It's not just trying to get your offense going. It's about worrying about the whole thing. And I thought one of the awesome points this year was when that defense on 4th down against Fresno State, where they were backed up on the goal line, kind of a meaningless play. How fired up Lincoln Riley was for that play and that stop and that 4th down just shows you how in tune to this team he is and what kind of coach he wants to be, and just the all-encompassing aspect, I think, of being a head coach.
Yeah, I also think that being a great head coach also goes into knowing when to go in and use your power and know when to step in and speak your mind, and also when to let go and let your coordinators do what they're supposed to do. You know, you can be a guru all you want to. If you don't have the trust and the rapport built between your coordinators and your team, it won't matter. And I think we saw that a little bit last year. I think we see it around the country continuously. But I think Coach Riley's kind of slowly but surely finding his way, and he knows the right buttons to press.
He's going to want to put up a number tonight, though, I bet.
Oh, yeah. And I love what he said. He said, you don't panic. You know, we don't change anything. We're not going to make any huge changes. And I love what he said on Tuesday after practice. He made a comment along the lines of, you know, we got a little impatient. We tried to make the big plays happen too early on, but he didn't just put it on the offense. He said, hey, I'm responsible for that as well. And as a quarterback, when you know your head coach and offense coordinator has your back, that's a great feeling.
All right, well, we got your back out there, so we wanted to get some questions into the show, get some fans involved. This is the Pat in the Hat. Great name. Did you all have any playoff expectations for this year after what we've seen so far, or is it the best we don't get our hopes up just yet? Can Pat be optimistic, Sean?
I say be optimistic, but it's just week to week now. We're going to learn about this team tonight. We're going to learn about them against Washington State. We're going to get to learn them how they grow during a bye week, how they go against Utah. It's going to be a week to week process for this team. It's the first year under Lincoln Riley, and they got to learn how to win games, and they're learning different ways to do it. But it's just going to be a growing process, I think, this whole year. And I wouldn't worry about those things at the end. Worry about being excited about this game tonight, watching these guys get better tonight.
Well, I'm not going to give you the PC answer. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to let it go. We beat Utah. Get your playoff hopes up. If you get past Utah, get your hopes up. But I know y'all saw what they did to Oregon State today and what we did to them last week.
Sleeping on Washington State already. Sleeping on the Cougs, on the trap
Washington State lost. They blew it last week. They should be undefeated. You guys blew it, and it would have been a game of the week next week. But instead, we get past Utah, we can start singing playoff.
Yeah, I'm on board with Sua. I think I was going to say the same thing. I think there's obviously week by week, we want to take it slow, but I think that Utah game, and I know we've said it before, is going to tell us a lot, but I think that's going to be our biggest challenge this year in the conference. And after that game, then we can start, getting into the end of the season and making our predictions.
1 week at a time, big fella, right?
1 week.
I mean, we got ASU tonight, 1 week at a time. Well, we got one more question, I think. Let's throw it up one question at a time. Oh, it's a long one. Tommy Trojan. Fight on 1880 with more than half a dozen five-star recruits filling the Coliseum this weekend and Lincoln Riley needing to add depth to his roster. Are these young athletes getting the true Hollywood experience? What was your official visit like, guys?
Man. Oh, yeah. My official visit was stupendous.
I don't think it was the true – was it the true Hollywood experience?
I wouldn't say it was the true Hollywood experience. No, I didn't really get a lot of into that. I mean, it was my last visit, so I kind of knew which way I was going to go, but it wasn't that great for me.
I mean, the first two guys on the stage literally have SC tattoos on, so you guys might have been the easiest recruits
I was just going to say, I was taken for granted as a recruit.
Yeah.
Like, Kiffin called me the night before my official visit. Was like, are you coming? Like, you were here last week. So, my official visit was at the end of the year. I didn't even think I even seen anybody on the team. I think TJ McDonald never even gave me my recruit money. Like, it was all types of things. I still committed. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, I had the time of my life on my visit. Robert Woods was my host.
Oh, nice.
But I got the whole Palace treatment. You remember the Robert Woods, Xavier Grimble, Dion Bailey, Hayes Pilar, that whole group. So we got to go out. I can't talk about everything that happened, but I had a great time. And I'll just say by the end of it, I was already committed, but I was telling them I'm 110% coming. So I had a great time.
It started at the Palace. It ended at the Row.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
Oh, speaking of the Palace boys, there's Dion Bailey. Looking forward to watching a complete performance tonight. This is a great opportunity to put it all together on a national stage.
My son.
If people don't realize, so the Victory podcast you can listen to each week. Dion Bailey and Keely Orr do the recap podcast every Sunday. Listen to it on Mondays. And then Cody Kessler and Keely do the preview podcast
That's my son,
every Wednesday. You can listen to that Wednesday and Thursday. So good podcast content as well on the USC Trojans Media Network. All right, when we come back, it's best in the game. Sue is going to claim he won. We'll find out if he actually did. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Sometimes faster isn't always better. Like when you're getting a tattoo. Or saying I love you on the first date. or putting together certain Swedish furniture.
But when it comes to getting in and out of the airport, faster is always better. And at Ontario International Airport, you can have a stress-free experience from the curb to the gate.
It's the least we can do.
I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere, and there's no place I'd rather be. I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere, and time don't matter to me, 'cause I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
One final segment of the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, Cody Kessler breaking it down inside the Coliseum. USC getting loose behind us on a nice chilly, almost fall Saturday night here in downtown Los Angeles. And in the distance, you can see the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Such a Californian.
They're wearing white on white tonight. The Trojans, of course, in their Cardinal. All right, guys. Last week, I picked Shane Lee as our impact. It's time now for the Old Dominion Best in the Game. Let me do that.
The Best in the Game is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
All right, I've got to admit, I think Sua won last week.
What?
I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's possible. I mean, I picked Shane Lee. He was good, but it wasn't involved in any of the big plays in the game. Sean picked Nick Figueroa. It was not Nick's night. So
I didn't get a pick.
Cody, I got a big X on the screen, so it's Sua Cravens.
You know, my boy with the what you call it? The coffee drop? What you call it?
I don't think he was the best player in the game.
Come on.
You don't have to pick the best player in the game.
No, I didn't understand the rules. Never mind.
Oh, my Lord. Listen.
You don't have to be great. You just have to be better than you, Sean. That's really the standard that we have set so far. Cody's back in it now, though. He's out here, and he does claim to have won the one time he played a couple weeks ago. He did pick Travis Dye against Fresno. Travis Dye was the best player in the game. So
and
Cody,
he was voted Trojan of the Game by our fans.
So you are technically 1-0 in your participation. Why don't you kick it off for us tonight? Who you got your best of the game?
I'm going with my man Caleb Williams. He's tired of it. No.
Shocker.
I know, and this is the same thing they said to me in the group chat when we talked about it, by the way. But I know he's heard it all week. He won't admit it. He's tired of the noise. I know he had an off game. I'm tired of hearing it. I expect him to have a big bounce-back game this week.
Can we have a rule that if he doesn't go for at least 320 and 3 tubs, he does not qualify?
I agree. Yes, he can't just be like good. He has to be truly great.
Exactly.
But you don't have to do that as a quarterback. You do what's necessary to win the game.
Well, not to win Old Dominion, but not to win the game. You have to be special.
Fair enough.
Sua, who you got?
I'm going Jordan Addison, and it's because he had a quiet game last week. He got pretty much shut down until the fourth quarter. I know he's taking that personally. He's back at home. He's ready to show out. I got him going for 200 yards.
Oh, 200 yards.
200 yards.
So if he doesn't get 200 yards, then you.
I mean, if
then
he's
you're
189, come on.
To concede. Okay, I'm just trying to understand the standards when we pick the quarterback and the Blitnikoff winner, and then Sean's going to pick somebody who's like third on the depth chart.
I prefer the dark horse in the race.
You always go dark horse.
I go Justin Dietich, Nick Figueroa, Mario Williams, the guys you don't expect. I'm going for the long odds guy, and I think I got Brendan Rice this week, guys. We haven't seen that real third receiver exploited yet from the Lincoln Riley offense. You've seen Mario, you've seen Jordan get it done, you've seen Todd Washington, but I'm waiting for Brendan Rice to break out, and I think tonight he has a chance to get it done.
Great pick.
You know, it's a good question too, because I agree with you, Sean. I don't think we've seen the best of Brendan Rice, but I wonder if he's starting to feel the heat a little bit, because Taj Washington has really been the third target and not him so far, and that's what he was brought here to do.
It seems like Taj Washington stepped up in that role, and since Gary's now, he's redshirting, and he's most likely going to transfer. Taj Washington had the most catches last week,
and the biggest drive of the game, Cody. And who did Caleb trust? First 2 catches on the last drive of the game went to Taj Washington.
Taj Washington, and that big third down that I broke down as well. So, but I think that just speaks volumes about the weapons we have on this team and the depth.
Well, speaking of that, I'm going to stay in the same room. Look, we're going to go quarterback, receiver. I'm going to go with Mario Williams. Yeah. Okay. And I'll tell you why. It was something that stood out. I don't know if I noticed it as much in the game, watching the game, but he had 8 targets and 1 catch. That's not a ratio that Mario Williams you'd expect from him, or one that he's going to like. I'm not sure we've seen the best of him so far.
Yeah, he was defended well last week. It seemed like somebody was covering him up pretty well every week. The catches he had were kind of tough. Like Caleb had to squeeze it into some small windows, some tough catches. Look for him to break out tonight too.
Going to get Mario involved in the RPO game, I think. I think if Jordan starts to take the top off a little bit in the first half, you'll see Mario come on late and have a sneaky good game.
I like Mario in the little short game. Just getting the ball. He can kind of jitter around. He can make those plays. Get him the ball quick.
Yeah, and that's the question. Take the top off. Cody, can they make the big plays tonight, or can Arizona State force them to matriculate the ball down the field? And if so, can USC be patient enough to do it?
Yeah, and that's what you want to see from Caleb tonight specifically is Coach Riley's going to call those shots, right? The opportunities are going to be there, but Caleb needs to make Coach Riley right. If the play's not there, if you're going to take a shot down the field, we know Arizona State likes to play zone defense, drop deep into coverage. If it's not there, take the underneath route, get the ball out of your hands quickly like he wasn't doing last week, kind of holding on to it and bouncing around. But, if the shot's there, take it. If not, check the ball down or take off and make a play with your feet.
You said matriculate?
Yeah, Jordan's smart.
Is that the word I used?
Matriculate? Hey, I learned something.
We're the athletes.
Matriculate.
We don't,
yeah.
Stephen A. Moore.
I knew what you meant.
Not a single defensive player picked after we talked about how the defense is the key to the team. But I think we want to see some offense tonight. But I think the key defensively is don't let Emory Jones run, because I think for ASU to stay in this game, I think he's going to have to pull Vince
Young.
Only
way ASU, I think, stays in this one is he keep plays alive, extending plays, putting pressure on that defense. That's the only way I see them having any success.
All right, there's no huge injury news to talk about. I'll talk about it on the sideline if we get to it, and we'll get to those starting lineups a little bit too. But we're going to kick it up here to Pete Arbogast and Sean soon. Our executive producer, though, is Drew DeHart. Our producer-director is Gia Lares. Our producer-engineer is Rick Cutler. Tailgate engineer, Ben Conroy. Studio board op is Wayman Porter. Thanks to Sam Baker for joining the show. Yeah. Thanks to our awesome crew. We got 4 podiums this week. The graphics were incredible. Daniel Zarunian and company, what a heck of a job. It's time now for the broadcast. Fight on, everybody.
Fight on.
You've been listening to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. We make the gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the video board for an important announcement about stadium emergency procedures. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you may be directed or required to evacuate. Please follow instructions and proceed in an orderly fashion to the nearest exit. Please note that this exit may be either above or below your seating location. If the nearest exit is below your seat location and is the field itself, you should proceed onto the Coliseum field and exit through either the Coliseum tunnel to the west or the peristyle end to the east. The peristyle steps are available for emergency exiting. If the closest exit is above your seating location, please proceed to the nearest exit tunnel. If exiting through one of the upper tunnels, please then access the nearest staircase to street level. Do not walk along the upper concourse. Once outside the seating area, vacate the Coliseum immediately via the nearest gate. Guests seated in the 200 and 300 levels of the Scholarship Club Tower will locate emergency exit stairs at each end and center of the building. Please exit to the concourse level and immediately proceed outside to the nearest gate. Guests seated in the 400, 500, 600, and 700 levels of the Scholarship Club Tower access emergency exit stairs at each end of the building and proceed to the upper concourse. Please then access the nearest staircase to street level and exit the nearest gate. Please proceed as directed in a calm, orderly fashion. We thank you for your attention. USC has assigned a high priority to assuring all athletic events are conducted in a safe and enjoyable atmosphere. In compliance with the Trojan Spirit Code, please respect all fans in attendance. For immediate assistance during the game, please speak with the closest usher or security personnel. To report any incidents of fan misconduct, please call the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum Fan Behavior Hotline. That number is 213-263-4007. Or you can text Coliseum with your seat location and a description of the situation to, once again, the number 213-263-4007. That number is 213-263-4007. We do thank you for your cooperation and hope you enjoy the game. Fans, be sure to sign into the USC network Fight On for faster service. Fans, be a part of our pregame light show tonight, presented by Coca-Cola. Go ahead and take your cell phones out right now and scan the QR code that you see on the screen to download the USC Trojans Game Day app. Touch the menu in the upper left-hand corner and then select Trojan Lights. Be sure to enable microphone and camera permissions and go to the Waiting to Sync screen and enjoy the show. Fans, snap a selfie and tag it with hashtag USC Selfie. And you just might see yourself up on the video board during tonight's game. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at USC_athletics. And now let's take it down to our DJ booth and check in on DJ Molsky.
What's up, Trojan fans? I need you guys to get loud. Who's ready to win today? Who's ready? My name is DJ Molsky. In my booth, our women's volleyball team. Tomorrow, they play. If you show up, you get one of these bucket hats, so make sure you pull up and support your women's volleyball team. We're going to get super loud for them today, all right? If you want a shirt from one of them, get on your feet and make some noise. Let's go, let's go. Go for it. Let's throw them out. We can go out there and throw them if you want to. Say it again. Oh, you got to get louder than that. You got to get louder than that. Let's see if we can get our girls over there going.
We have the maker mindset.
The Pac-12 is very competitive and very diverse.
As a track athlete, as an athlete in an Olympic sport, the Pac-12 is the place to be.
We would not be where we are today without our coaches, our teammates, without our trainers, without our professors.
It's a blessing to be able to wear that Pac-12 logo on my jersey and represent the conference in all walks of life.
We are memory makers.
Olympian makers.
Change makers.
The Pac-12.
Called the Conference of Champions for a reason.
Nothing is more important than this snap, this blitz, this drive. Nothing is more important than taking the field each week, alongside your brother, going out in battle, moving the chains, surviving the gauntlet, raising the hard way. Nothing is more important than this game. And the next game is on Pac-12 Networks.
Hi, yes, I need a locksmith. 3 hours. Guess I'll be right here.
Oh, nice. 2% cash back, right?
And it is saving the day right now.
Good afternoon.
It was.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa Card. That's real life ready.
This is the story of an airline. But wait, it's about more than just planes. It's a sci-fi story about a piece of trash that becomes sustainable aviation fuel. It's a rescue story about saving thousands of connecting flights. It's a romance, an adventure, a musical. But most of all, it's a people story, starring more than 80,000 hero characters on a mission to do good in the air and beyond. Because this is the story of an airline when good leads the way.
Hi, my name is Nick Figueroa. Welcome to the Coliseum. Fight on.
Hi, everybody. It's Malcolm Epps. Welcome to the Coliseum. Fight on.
Hey, my name is Eric Gentry. Welcome to the Coliseum. And, of course, fight on.
Trojan fans, welcome to the Coliseum. I'm Brett Nealon. Have a great game day and fight on.
Hey, Trojan fans. This is Makai Blackman. We want to welcome you to the game. Hope you have a great time. Fight on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the United Airlines field at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for tonight's matchup featuring the visiting Arizona State Sun Devils and the home team, your University of Southern California Trojans. We hope you enjoy the entire game day experience tonight, and we remind you to follow the Trojan Spirit Code by showing respect for all fans in attendance. Thank you and fight on. Fans, be a part of our pregame light show tonight presented by Coca-Cola. Go ahead and take your cell phones out right now and scan the QR code on the screen to download the USC Trojans Game Day app. Touch the menu in the upper left-hand corner and then select Trojan Lights. Be sure to enable microphone and camera permissions and go to the Waiting to Sync screen and enjoy the show.
I'm Keely. You're here with head coach Lincoln Riley for your Prescription to Win interview. Coach, USC went 4-0 in September for the first time since 2010. How do you keep the momentum going in October?
Well, we need the Collie rocking tonight. It's been a great start to the season, but it's just a start. Proud of the way that we worked. Got a great opponent tonight. Should be a lot of fun. Let's have a great time.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You think the one thing I messed up? You got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Dave Nickel passed away on March 25th at the age of 45, shortly after joining the USC coaching staff in December of 2021. Dave began his coaching career at Texas Tech and throughout his career worked with 9 current USC staff and coaches, including head coach Lincoln Riley. Coach Dave Nickel is survived by his father, Robert Nickel Sr., and his brothers, Robert Nickel Jr. and Jimmy Nickel, and their families. With us today are Dave's brother Jimmy and sister-in-law Jennifer, as well as several of Dave's closest friends, along with Coach Lincoln Riley. USC will honor Dave's memory throughout the remainder of the 2022 season with a special decal on their helmet featuring the initials DN. Please join us as we celebrate the life of Coach Dave Nickel.
Members of the Trojan family, we are proud to present the Spirit of Troy, the University of Southern California Trojan Marching Band. Band, take the field. With drum major Jacobo Herrera, twirler Emily Tutnick, and the SC Silks. Featuring the world-famous USC song, here is our double platinum hit with Fleetwood Mac, Tusk. To honor our great nation and the men and women serving in the armed forces, will you please rise and remove your caps for the presentation of the colors by the USC Army, Navy, and Air Force Color Guards. Joining the color guard on the field is a representative of the SoCal Pipe Trades, CPMCA, and IBEW NECA of LA County, proud supporters of USC athletics and our military veterans. Tonight, we honor this week's student veteran of the game, Deshante Lewis. Deshante Lewis served as fire support sergeant and paratrooper in the United States Army's 82nd Airborne Division. Before becoming a Trojan, he received a Division I scholarship to run track for Chicago State University and currently attends the Master of Business for Veterans program at the USC Marshall School of Business. Please join us in welcoming Deshante Lewis as our student veteran of the game and thanking him for his service. Please remain standing and join in singing as the Trojan Marching Band, under the direction of Dr. Jacob Vogel, plays our national anthem. And now, collegiate football's greatest battle cry, Conquest. And the Trojans' mascot, Traveler. The Spirit of Troy, the University of Southern California Trojan Marching Band.
Hey family, take your phones out, scan this QR code. We want to get ready for this light show, guys. Make sure you get your phones out. Scan this code. The light show is about to start. Let's go. Who's ready to beat the Sun Devils? Somebody scream! Who's ready?
Take out your cell phones right now. Scan the QR code on the screen to join our cell phone light show presented by Coca-Cola during tonight's intro video. Be sure to enable microphone and camera permissions. Hold up your phone and enjoy the show. And now, please turn your attention to the tunnel and your tunnel captain for tonight's game. Three-time All-American offensive tackle and 2008 first-round draft pick, Sam Baker.
Trojan fans, get on your feet! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Trojans will win the ball game.
When USC is rolling, America is watching.
I need more than a piece, my brother. If you rollin' with me, my brother, just know we going past the peak, my brother. I ain't playing, but they see I leveled up. They fed up, I don't act like I'm fed enough. Word is mine, I ain't claiming a piece. Throne is mine, but I stay on my feet. Locked and loaded, I pray that you get low. If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
They backing up.
Brother, now I got them all shook, brother. I ain't playing by the book, brother. They be reading what it took, brother. Soon enough we'll be understood, brother. Started doing everything I could, now I'm doing what you can in case you missed up. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
Let's go! USC wins it. Trojans force the turnover. Gets up in the pocket, throws for the home run. Touchdown! Diving for the pylon and scores. Is you ready for war, my brother?
Now taking the field, your USC Trojans.